Mercy Kaino and Careen Chepchumba, two young women with bright futures, met at the University of Eastern Africa, Baraton, where they were students, and they quickly became friends. In a very sinister twist of fate, Mercy Kaino was brutally murdered in June of 2011, and just 8 months later, on Valentine's Day, 14th February 2012, Careen Chepchumba was found murdered in her flat at Santonia Apartments, Kilimani. Their tragic and gruesome deaths dominated news headlines in Kenya, yet these cases remain some of the country's most haunting cold cases, with their killers still at large. In 2020, 8 years after Careen was killed at Santonia Apartments, another chilling coincidence occurred. Sheila Njeri Murage was found gruesomely murdered in a flower bed at the same apartments. The connection between Mercy, Careen, and Sheila is baffling. While the stories of Mercy and Careen are widely known, Sheila's case has not received the same attention. Today we say her name and amplify her story, hoping to shed light on her tragic fate. We must warn you that the details in this case are scanty, and similar to Careen's case, there are more questions than answers, so brace yourself. Welcome to Silent Shadows. As always, if you appreciate our true crime storytelling, support our fortnightly series by liking and subscribing. Together we uncover compelling tales of crimes and mysteries in Kenya and beyond, presenting well-balanced narratives that respect the victims and their loved ones. Sheila Njeri Murage was born on 20th October, presumably between 1986 and 1988, in Kirinyaga County. Little is known about Sheila's childhood, but her Facebook and Instagram accounts reveal much about her as an adult. For example, we are able to learn that she shared a very close bond with her mom, loved spending time with her family, enjoyed traveling and having a good time. Sheila particularly enjoyed reggae and dancehall music, and in the early to mid-2010s, she was an upcoming DJ known as DJ Cute or DJ C. When not spinning the decks, she was a mother to an adorable baby boy, born presumably between 2013 and 2014. Sheila often shared fond moments with her son on social media, and it was evident that he meant the world to her.
What?
No, I wish this would happen to you.
In the late 2010s, Sheila's life took a 360-degree turn. She put her DJing aspirations aside, and it is unclear what she did for a living afterward. While some media outlets have insinuated that she may have been a service provider in the adult industry, this information cannot be substantiated and should be taken with a grain of salt. Regardless of what she did for a living, this doesn't warrant her cruel death. From her Instagram account, up until her death, Sheila, a beautiful young lady, appeared to be living comfortably and, like many, was a frequent patron at various social joints in Nairobi. Her social media also featured several photos taken at Santonia Apartments in Kilimani. Notably, the photo she posted on 5th July 2020, looking happy on her way out, just 12 days before her tragic death, was taken at the apartments. You may remember Santonia Apartments in Kilimani as the infamous flats where Careen was found deceased on 14th February 2012. Although Sheila frequented Santonia Apartments and was often seen there by the neighbors, she did not live there. According to the Nation newspaper, Sheila often rented one of the apartments on the 5th floor to host visitors. This apartment belonged to a man who listed it on Airbnb. On Thursday, 16th July 2020, Sheila visited Santonia Apartments, but this time, she would not leave alive. Neighbors and security guards recounted that on the material day, there was a party in apartment B03 on the 2nd floor, which belonged to one Careen Chepchumba. In attendance were 4 people, 3 women and 1 man. That is the apartment owner Claire, Christine Award, who also lived in the building, Sheila and Shem Longa. Shem, allegedly the only man at the party, told the police he was drinking at 1824 Bar and Lounge on Langata Road when he was invited by one of the women to join them. Shem claims he later arrived at the apartment, they had a good time, and then he blacked out from drinking too much alcohol, sleeping on the couch, because he could not go home due to the COVID-19 curfew in place. He alleges he was later woken up by Claire and taken to one of the bedrooms to sleep. The following morning, Friday, 17th July 2020, he claims he woke up and went straight home. Sadly, on the same day, around 9 a.m., Sheila was found deceased at a flower bed in the apartments by workers who worked in the building. Those who found her maintained that they saw blood oozing from her nose, dark marks on her face, bruises on her wrists, evident injuries on her back and neck, and torn clothes, suggesting she was involved in a scuffle before her death. She was also found holding a partially smoked blunt of cannabis. She was also missing her wig and one shoe. Her wig and the other shoe were later found in apartment B03, where she had been partying. The fact that she was found without a shoe and her other shoe was found in the apartment strongly suggests something sinister may have occurred in apartment B03. As expected, police from Kilimani police station arrived at the apartments, processed the scene, and Sheila was taken to city mortuary. An autopsy conducted on Wednesday, 22nd July 2020 by Dr. Frank Jenga revealed that Sheila had been subjected to an unconsensual assault of an intimate nature before her death. The autopsy also established that she succumbed to head injuries caused by blunt force trauma, indicating she had been struck on the head with a heavy object. Similar to Careen, the pathologist took a swab that was sent to the government chemist lab to test for the presence of spermatozoa. The swab tested positive, making the identification of Sheila's killer dependent on the investigators finding a DNA match to the seminal fluids found in Sheila. To establish what happened to Sheila, the police first interrogated at least 12 people, including neighbors and guards at the apartment complex, who acknowledged that there was indeed a party at apartment B03, but they did not hear any screams or commotion. Subsequently, the police focused on Claire, Christine, and Shem, who were partying with Sheila that day. After interrogating the three, police identified inconsistencies and contradictions in their stories, especially regarding the events of that evening and when Sheila had left the party. Allegedly, Claire, Christine, and Shem asserted that Sheila had left the party, but their timelines conflicted, likely because they were drunk at the time. What raises concern is one of them alleged Sheila left alone after an argument with another of the party attendees, while another said Sheila left with Christine. In an effort to piece together the puzzle, the police detained Claire, Christine, and Shem on Thursday, 23rd July 2020, as they continued the investigations. They also confiscated their phones, which were submitted to the DCI Cybercrimes Unit for analysis. It remains unclear if Sheila's phone was recovered at the crime scene and if it underwent forensic analysis. Shem's DNA was also obtained and submitted to the government chemist lab to determine if it matched the spermatozoa DNA found in Sheila. On Monday, 27th July 2020, the three were presented in front of Senior Principal Magistrate Kennedy Cheruiyot at Milimani Law Courts. The two women were released on bail, and the judge gave the police 30 days to conclude the investigations into Sheila's death. So here's why the two women were released on bail. Their lawyer, Cliff Umbeta, argued since the autopsy had established Sheila was forced into an intimate encounter and a swab had identified the presence of spermatozoa, biologically, the two women were not responsible for the murder. This argument is very frivolous, and what is bizarre is why the magistrate was persuaded by this theory and released Claire and Christine on bail, despite numerous cases where women have aided and abetted in the assault and murder of another woman. Also, the fact that Sheila did not scream and there was no commotion highly suggests that she may have been subdued by more than one person. The two women were also instructed to report daily to Kilimani DCI office until 28 August 2020, when the case would be mentioned in court. The judge also accepted the prosecutor's request to detain Shem for 5 more days to allow for the DNA test results to be determined. Unfortunately, Shem was later released, and there is no word on whether there was a DNA match or not. The police also claimed they were following other leads of people they suspected may have been involved in Sheila's death, but this also turned out to be smoke and mirrors. Besides DNA evidence, CCTV footage would have been crucial in establishing Sheila's movement throughout the night at Santonia Apartments. However, the prestigious apartments do not have CCTV cameras. One would truly think that after Careen's mysterious death, this would have been a security measure implemented to improve security in the building. Careen's and Sheila's cases are bizarrely similar. Firstly, it is evident they knew their assailants, and there were many potential suspects, but the police couldn't link anyone to their gruesome deaths. Furthermore, the killer knew how to maneuver the heavily guarded apartments manned 24/7 by G4S security without raising suspicions. Also, the deaths of both women remain unsolved to date. What is particularly perplexing about Sheila's case is the lack of updates on the progress of her case. The media also seems to have moved on without any follow-ups. One theory could be that, since it happened at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, news about the pandemic overshadowed her death. Moreover, rumors suggest Santonia Apartments are owned by a politician who may have had the power to mute the news on Sheila's death to avoid further negative publicity on the apartments. Additionally, family members typically play a significant role in amplifying such cases, but several news outlets reported that weeks after her death, Sheila's family had not claimed her body from the mortuary, implying she may have had a strained relationship with her family, similar to Careen. What do you make out of all this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The connection between Mercy, Careen, and Sheila remains profoundly disturbing, underscoring not only the persistent societal challenge of femicide, but also the glaring incompetency of our judicial system. In addition, while Mercy's and Careen's stories may be familiar to many, Sheila's story is not. It is crucial to remember and acknowledge each victim to honor their memory and advocate for change. So say her name, Sheila Njeri Murage. Her story, like those of Mercy and Careen, deserves to be heard and amplified to serve as a stark reminder of the ongoing gender-based violence and the need for justice. We also urge you to continue exercising caution when attending house parties. If you can, avoid them altogether. This is the second case we are covering, the first being the Jeff Mwadhi case, where someone lost their life after a house party and the attendees provided inconsistent and dubious accounts of events. We extend our heartfelt condolences to the family and friends of Sheila Njeri Murage. May her soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you for joining us today. If you appreciated the coverage of this case, please like this video and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to be notified of updates about the case. Until then, please take care, stay safe, and always trust your gut.